child, that your skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say, you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place? Undercover of my skin, I've heard all your names. If it's all the same, I'll keep on walking.
Welcome to episode number 223 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. Big show coming at you. We're going to thank the Patreon supporters, talk about some running news, Moose on the Loose, listener question, actually a new segment tonight as well where we're going to be talking about training a bit. So that should be quite interesting when we get up to that one. And yeah, we'll do all the other stuff, maybe preview a bit of the Adelaide Track Classic, which is coming on this Saturday as well. Do all the usual stuff as we do on this podcast each Monday night. Welcome my co-host up in Canberra, Bradley Croker. How you going?
Very well, Brady. Happy to be here. How are you going?
Yeah, good, thanks, Brad. What's news in Canberra? Much? Well, everything, actually, isn't it?
Working a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, booked
What's
out.
a lot?
Wouldn't know yourself, would you?
3 days a week.
Oh,
of teaching.
you're kidding.
That's a fair
3
bit.
days a week.
Yeah.
3 days a week, that's big, Moose. If then
That's
you're writing
pretty good.
programs another day of the week and then you're looking after kids the other day. That's a full-time work week.
So I'm working Monday and then I've got college Tuesday, work Wednesday, Thursday, and then I write programs Friday. So that's a full week.
That's a full week.
Yeah, and I'm booked up for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks,
Doing
that's
that
3
at
days a
school.
week.
Yeah.
Jeez, you won't know yourself
And
the amount of cash you got coming in.
Yeah, getting fitter, so it's all good.
That's good. Getting fitter, are you? I thought
Well,
you done much on Strava?
My mileage has increased. Yeah, I've gone pretty much added between 20 and 30k every week for the last 3 weeks.
All right.
Up to 80 last week.
We'll get to that in a second. I will introduce Julian Spencer to the show. Welcome, Moose.
Thanks, mate.
How you going?
Tell you what, there'll be a few listeners listening to that going, that is not a full week of work. Right.
No, that's it.
It's
But with
called
the kids,
work-life balance.
I
as
actually
well.
disagree. I think that is a full week of work because you probably write programs for 8 hours on that other day and you're looking after kids, which is harder than going to work anyway.
Yeah. Thanks, Brady.
Yeah.
I'm
only sticking up to Brad because that's exactly what I do for my 5 days as well. 3 days of teaching, 1 day kids,
exactly.
1 day programs. But it feels like a full-time work week.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a lot of listeners who are hearing this and thinking that's not a full week of work because they do all that stuff on top of going to work 5 days a week.
What, you reckon they're writing programs for 6 hours after work?
Yes, I do.
Jeez.
I reckon most of our coaches...
They wouldn't be high-quality programs.
Oh,
If you're
yeah.
doing them when you're tired, falling asleep, watching a bit of Netflix or something, Croaks. That's why.
Moose,
Run to PB or BradCrokerCoaching.com are the two places to go, I reckon.
It's not a competition about how busy you can be in a week.
Yeah, it's all about quality, Moose.
Doing what you enjoy, having a good balance, and that's what I got.
You only live once.
I'm saying it's
See your kids grow up.
disrespectful. It's disrespectful for those people that actually work when you're
Slow
out
down.
there talking about how much you're working, and then you've been at work 3 days a week.
There'd be some people that do stuff all in their week. They'd be sitting on their laptops now in an office pretending they're working, us in their ears, probably listening to a bit of Joe Rogan after this, doing absolutely nothing, just watching the clock until it gets to 5.
And how many days have you done in a school, Moose? I'll tell you what,
Oh, yeah.
five lessons straight plus a duty. Hey, that's the equivalent of 2 days at some other jobs.
Doesn't Cole sleep half the day?
That is...
We're talking about school.
No, I know.
Yeah, that's a day and a half there. So if you're doing 3 of those...
Cole does stints asleep 90 minutes at a time, 4 stints, there's 6 hours.
He does
He only has one stint in the middle of the day, but he makes up for it when he's awake.
Oh, well, we started strong, fellas. Good work. Who's telling me about their running week?
I want to hear Moose's week.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Open it up. Get
Well, it
it.
was okay. It was 129K. I got a little, not even a niggle, but I got some Achilles wearness towards the end of the week. So that's why I cut a few Ks off it. So Monday morning, pretty sweaty, hot morning. Ran out around Anglesea, did an hour, came back, and we got this cockatoo that hangs out. Call him Scraggy because he must have some disease where like all his feathers come out, or he might. Some of them, like they're in a cage, have anxiety issues, and they peck themselves and they pull their feathers out. But I'm not sure about Scraggy because he's not in a cage, but he is not a good-looking bird. But we kind of love him because he's always there, and we can recognise him when he rocks up. That was the morning. The afternoon, king parrot came down. So much better looking bird, the king parrot. Quite friendly too. Will hop on your wrist, eat out of your hand if you prefer it. So that was a double. At the moment, 60-30 doubles, they're my go-to. I reckon that's probably the ideal amount for someone who's not ready to increase their mileage that much, but wants to double. So 60-30 ends up for me like anywhere from 12.5K to 14K, and then in the Arvos sort of anything from 6K to 7K.
I like this double too, Moose. 430 average, 6.66 Ks. Look at that. Some nice level numbers there.
Except you went one second too long. 30 minutes and 1 second.
It would have been 6.65 if I had have cut that early.
Nah, but you think about it, Strava doesn't go to the tenths of a second, so you probably did stop at 30.00 and it rounds up.
It's pretty rare I ran like more than half a second longer than I have to.
What? Yeah, especially if you're only doing 30 minutes.
Yeah, those 30 minutes are tough.
It is. There's a big difference. I find this as well, especially when it's summer and it's a bit hotter for those Arvo runs. A big difference between going out for 30 minutes and say like 8K, which is maybe like the traditional double. That extra 5 or 6 minutes is like so much harder, A, to get out the door, B, feels like forever when you're out there.
Yeah. You just get a bit hotter, don't you?
Yeah. And this is smart from you, just capping it, taking 5 minutes off.
Well, eventually I think it will turn to like 70-40. I reckon that could be the double. Like that's when you're going okay. And then you might hit 16.8 or 16.8.5. And that's when you're getting up to 100-mile weeks and stuff, but not at the moment. The next morning, I ran on the beach, which I very rarely do. We only live probably, I'm going to say 400 meters from the beach, and it's soft sand. So it's rare that I'm there, but it was quite a low tide, and it was real hot and steamy, but the sun was just coming up. I got out there a bit earlier, 6:25, and the sun's coming up a bit later now. And it was actually beautiful running along the beach just as the sun came up, and the tide was out, so the sand was firm, and ran super slow because I woke up, I don't know, because it was pretty early, and I was running on the beach, I guess, nearly 5 minutes a K. So that was a good little, again, 30-minute double, and that night ran an hour, went and parked out at the Gong Gong Reservoir, which is in Ballarat. Like if you can see the picture that I put up, there's sort of like there's plantations out there, like for logging or harvesting or whatever they call it. What's the term they like to use? Instead of cutting the trees down, it's harvesting the plantation. But they put sometimes they put these big blue rocks on the ground, which are shit to run on. But it wasn't bad out here. Sometimes it gets shaded from the big trees, shaded, and also protects it from the wind. So it's nice to go out when it's warm. Ran an hour. This is actually closed off. It's run by Central Highlands Water. You're not supposed to be in there. Mona actually went in there. There's a funny story. He was in there one day, and they ran, and then he went and washed it. Like they went and cooled off in the reservoir afterwards, and he got a
Oh yeah, this is his book.
He told us that story when we had him on for that bonus show.
Oh, did he? Yeah. He ended up getting like...
He got arrested, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he had to go to court or something.
Yeah, they were going to take his passport off him.
Yeah. So our friend Tony, Lockie's dad Brian, actually listens to the podcast. He'll love this. He's a waterboard worker, so I stirred him up. Anyway, next morning did a workout with Toby down at the track. Toby did 16 by 500 off 90 seconds, and I did 400s. I did 10 of them. Wasn't quite in shape enough to do 16 500s, and I was like off the back of Toby on most of the reps going through. Oh, not quite. I got better throughout. I was struggling early. My back was playing up, and then it warmed up a little, and then I could hang on to him for 400, and then some of them I would go a bit harder for my 400, step off, and he would come past. He was running pretty quick. I think I was running around, well, a bit of a range, 66 to 71, Heaps of rest though, because I got off at 400 and he was having 90 seconds after 500. Well, probably 17 seconds, 16 seconds I had on top where I jogged back to meet him. So this wasn't a great workout, but it was also the first time I've been on the track in ages, and it was good to get the legs turning over.
Hey Brady, what do you reckon Moose would say if this was me doing this session, like coming back from COVID / injury / not real fit and rolling 66 second 400s?
At his 1500 metre pace, 66s.
Yeah, well,
saying.
Did you go on the spikes, Moose? Did you go on the spikes?
Boys.
Because that's high risk if you jump straight in the spikes.
10 of them only.
10
400s at 1500 pace with a minute 45 rest. Don't you come at me for this.
It's the speed component of it that kills. Maybe 66 isn't fast enough. You do get down to 62 in your croaks when you did this.
64, 65. So it's not that big of a difference.
Okay.
Bit of a difference there. And also, you're old as fuck, and I'm still a young whippersnapper.
I got turnover, Moose.
Big difference there.
Anyway.
Look, I'm not even going to bring up the fact that I'm 3.5 minutes faster over the marathon.
Yeah.
But we're talking 50.
But you want to play that game, Brad?
We're talking speed here.
Biomechanically, I reckon Croaks is a bit smoother than you.
We're talking class.
So anyway, I want to hear about the end of the week here, about how smart your training was.
You've been saving this one up, haven't you?
Hang on, how many? If Toby did 16, how many did you help him out on? Like, did you lead many through 400 for him?
5, but he gets a bit antsy though. He doesn't run with many people, Toby, so he comes up the back of me starts clipping me, and then
likes the pace on. Don't slow him down.
Has no pacing idea. We went through 400 in I reckon we went through 200 in 31 or something on one of them, and I'm like, mate, you don't know what you're doing out here. You're just flogging yourself. But he looked fine and he got quicker, so he's fit. Doing Rotterdam. He's
down to do the frenzy this Friday night too. He could win it, I told you today.
He could, yeah. I reckon
a workout like that.
Probably the best runner in that field, I reckon.
Don't know if Andy Buchanan would agree with that, but we'll see on Friday night, won't we?
Yeah, well, he doesn't have to agree, but...
Doesn't have to agree?
Just my opinion.
Remember this time last year, we were thinking we all might have a crack at Andy, and then he put 300 metres into the whole field.
As far as I'm concerned, he wasn't in that race, and I won the race.
Yeah, exactly.
The next morning I got up. A late one, 9:30. Yeah, I think Bree ran that morning, and I just. Oh yeah, I took that Wednesday night off actually because I had this sore back hip thing going on, and I still had that the next day. Did an hour. It's always when I go to work, I pack a lot of boxes at the moment, just doing stock stuff out, and it ruins my hips. But I did an hour, listened to the long and the short of it, their latest episode, actually very good. Jess, Luke and Louie, pretty good dynamic going, those three.
Agree.
Reckon it's worth jumping on board that series if you haven't already. So that was an hour, and then in the afternoon went for a double. It's funny to see my heart rate in the Arvo so much better in the Arvo. And then the next day, I tried to wake up early, didn't. I had a meeting. Well, not a meeting. I attended the opening of the Geelong Sports Medicine Centre, which is a new big clinic with all physios, and they got a brand new gym upstairs, and they do VO2 testing. I think they're getting an Ultra G as well. So I went there for the opening of that. So I didn't get a run in. So I ran in the Arvo on the way home at the what's this place called? Some reservoir, Wurgie Bullock Reservoir, and it is the windiest place in the world. So these photos make it look pretty nice. I agree with that, but out there, I was running into a wind, probably 60k an hour, straight in my face, and it was just awful. But then, as soon as you turn around, if you check out my splits on this run, you'll see. I just want to open it, point them out to you. Into the wind, I was running 4:43, 4:35, and then the other side of the lake, I'm running 4 minutes, 4:02, 4:04. And that felt easier on the fast side.
Have you clicked on this Croaks? Did you see the weather, the Strava weather for this one? How windy it
like
was?
21k an hour.
Yeah, that's
just
I don't know where.
Triple it for the podcast.
I know what you mean, Moose. There's certain areas where it's always higher than what the bomb says, depending on the environment.
Yeah, it's like I'm on a lake and I'm set up on like a levee, and it's just open. Look how open it is. There are no hills, but you're set up next to the lake and there's no trees around. I thought trees made wind.
It's like Lake Burley Griffin. If you're down there on like a somewhat windy day, it always feels worse because it's so exposed.
Hey, did you speak at the opening, Moose? Cut the ribbon or something?
Oh no, I was just schmoozing, mate.
You wear your 2019 Aussie kit? Like, how'd you get the invite?
Store-related stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah, and all the sports stocks are there. I just want to be there. I was there to check out the gym, which I think I'm going to hook up with, and then also the Ultra G. Bang. So
I'm surprised you haven't bought one of those for yourself.
Oh, I've come close. So I saw there was one secondhand, a clinic was shutting down. Actually, Krishna Stanton, she alerted me to it. And clinic shutting down like in Brisbane. And it was cheap. It was like 30 grand. Like they were bankrupt or something. And I was close. I thought, oh, you could set this up, get all your runners in there. I'd pay for an Ultra G, no worries, if I was injured. But, yeah, anyway, next day, did a workout. Wasn't a great one. Again, had to go late, so 20 past 10, I was out there, Bree ran again. She's getting a bit selfish, I think, Bree. Always taking the best running times. I did 5 minutes at 175 beats max, and then 5 minutes at 165 beats. But I didn't really. That was just the like the guidelines I had for myself. So the first 5 minutes was at 159 average, which you're not gonna get anywhere near average on the first rep because your heart rate gradually increases. But the next rep, I sort of stuck to it. So I ran 320s for that first one, then 343s for the float. And then the next rep, I got a downhill rep. So I ran 312s with a heart rate average of 172. And then 344 for the next float, 328 for the next on. That was a bit of an uphill on, actually. And a higher heart rate, 174. The float was downhill, 168 beats. And then the next on, 321s. But after that, I was pretty cooked and couldn't really get my heart rate down at all, even though I ran 355 for the last 5 minutes. So yeah, finished that one, not great. Felt my Achilles a little bit at the end on the on like the last float. I got home. Now Alpha Flies have a split in the foam, so they're like probably just in front of the heel. I can actually bend the shoe in half, and the split just opens up like a wide cavity. So I'm thinking that's probably got something to do with my Achilles. So new pair of Alpha Flies ready this week. But then, yeah, didn't really think it was a good idea to double in the Arvo, so jumped on the cross trainer. And then this is Croaks' favourite run for me this week. I did 24K, so an hour 41 long run. We ran with the group, had a really good pack going. It was fun. We ran from Aries Inlet Skate Park. Ali was back, so we had a few more in the group. Want to say hi to the champ, the star. It's always good to get more people there. So we ran along like the cliffs, kind of dropped down out the back in the bush on this street called Gilbert Street, up a pretty big hill, down Distillery Creek, which is a long hill, and then around the back on Old Coach Road, back up like the hang gliding lookout spot, back to the car. So yeah, pretty, like if you actually look at this run, my heart rate was up a lot, and I spent the majority of the time, 66% of it was in a heart rate between 144 and 167, and that's way too high. And then the 11 point, like nearly 12% of it was in a heart rate of threshold for me. So I was cooked at the end, And I think that's a result of two things. One, I'm not fit enough to be doing this shit. And two, the workouts on Saturdays I normally do on Fridays, but because I work Fridays at the moment, I'm not getting much recovery. So I'm still not recovered enough for Sunday mornings. Because we do have a
You did workouts Saturday though, didn't you? And then longer on Sunday.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. Why are you doing that? Because you're working Friday.
I'm working Fridays at the moment. And so it's not ideal. It's just how it is. Yeah. And
So do you want? So Moose, I can't go too hard on you because you have at least admitted you've stuffed up in a way. Like the Sunday run wasn't what I was like. I was talking more of probably the last part of the week in terms of. And one of my questions was like, running a bit harder on a Sunday. Like I think is okay if you've done the session on a Friday. But you did the session on a Saturday, and then you admitted to us that you didn't really even, for a guy who's actually, quite intelligent and preaches training smart, you exceeded heart rates for the session. You then had a sore Achilles in the afternoon, and then on the Sunday you go and do a hilly, like 424 meters of elevation. So it's not a flat run with a high heart rate. I just feel like you're at this point where, like in a month's time, I don't want to have, I told you so, Moose. It's like, remember ages ago we were saying like you need to train to where you are now, not where you want to be. And I feel like there's just a bit of that at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's more of a wake-up call this week to that point that although I'm fitter than what I was when I came out of surgery, I'm still not aerobically there yet to handle these runs. Especially back-to-back runs, and especially if one of them gets a bit hotter. And the Achilles is a little warning sign that something's not quite right. I've got an ankle impingement issue where in the mornings especially, I have a pretty gimpy gait to try to land without sort of that sharp pain from the impingement. And I reckon that weird landing's been loading my Achilles a bit oddly. But yeah, so Achilles scare me because I've had some long-term Achilles issues, and you see what happens to people. Achilles very rarely just go like right off into the night, do they? They normally hang around for a while. So I am a bit concerned with that, and I'm going to be really careful going forward. And I think those Sundays, although I feel they are very important for building like a strength endurance type base, especially for the marathoners within the group, you can't do it every week, and you have to respect like a heart rate that high.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I reckon as well, Moose, was I don't know if it was like maybe a couple of months ago that you highlighted how like when you were running your best, you were doing a lot of hilly runs through Ballarat. You made a comment like a few weeks back anyway about it, and I feel like that's, you want to get back to doing that. But I always find that when I'm coming back from like time off and my fitness is not that good, I'm actually better off just building some fitness just on some of the flatter runs before I start getting like into the hills, because as you've noticed, like you just can't control your heart rates when you just don't have that strength behind you already.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I've literally tried to find the replication runs from when I was fit in Ballarat and work them into my program.
The thing is you were fit when you're doing them, and so you need to, I think, get to a level of fitness before you start like hitting those really hilly runs.
Do the training before you do the training stuff.
Yeah.
Which you probably were heading in that direction, but then you got COVID.
Yeah.
So say
I
you
reckon
didn't do COVID, did get COVID. I don't know though. Yeah. I because I don't run with a group very often, when I get it there on a Sunday, I'm all up and about. And you're the alpha.
And like you go up a hill and all of a sudden there's 8 blokes around you. One of them wants a little crack at the title today, and it's like, nah, I've still got a little bit left here. I'm going to take this. There's no doubt that happens, and you would be an idiot denying that. But that's Sunday thing.
But it's also, the Sunday thing can then turn into a Tuesday thing, because now you're hitting Tuesday's workout more tired as well.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like if I ran with the group every day, the competitive the level of competition that I would feel just because I'm naturally really competitive, and I don't race because there's I don't know, I will race more, but because at the moment I'm not racing, I need to get it out somehow.
You cannot say you pretty much race your Sunday long run to a guy you've been giving shit for 4 years for fanging his Sunday long run. You do as bad as each other.
This is what's funny as well. Moose gets on these podcasts and comes across as the wisest bloke ever.
Yeah.
And then he goes and does this shit. Yeah. So of course he has to cop some crap.
Yeah.
Well, I still think that the Sunday long run hard with a heart rate probably, well, for me, 10 to 15 beats higher than what I would normally jog at is okay.
I agree, but not the day after a session.
Yeah, not and also not when you're unfit, because
not when you're coming back.
Yeah, it's just I'm not enjoying it. The last 4 long runs, I've got the last 30 minutes, I've hated. I'm searching for a drink. I'm hoping that it's flat. I'm this is brutal stuff right now. Brutal stuff, and I'm hoping I come out of it on the good side and it doesn't fuck me. But there's a change. There's drawing a line in the sand now. It's not happening next week.
Yeah,
good to hear.
We'll see what happens this time next week. Good training talk though. We were going to introduce a new segment tonight, talk getting deep into training, but you've just done it pretty well then. So we'll talk about session later on, I think. Anyway, Croaks, what have you been doing?
So just jogging. I'm going to start back sessions this week. So I did 45 minutes on Monday afternoon. A storm sort of rolled through, so I went a little bit later. Sort of once, that feeling where the storm sort of rolled through. It's a bit but then sort of cools down a little bit. So it was quite an enjoyable run. Just 4:17s. Then Tuesday morning I got out for an hour. 4:29s and listened to the long and the short of it, which was episode 4. I've been really enjoying it. I really enjoy the couple of additional segments they have, like Luke's sort of race of the week and the race that he commented
that segment, Croaks, because it always goes out later in the show, so anyone that's had a teaser of their stuff won't know what this segment is.
Yeah, so every week Luke chooses a race that he, really enjoyed for various reasons, and he often gives a bit of a background into the lead up or the different stories that were happening. So, for example, this episode, it was the 2003 World Champs 5K final, which was a battle between Kipchoge, Bekele, and El Garouge. And that was, Kipchoge was an 18-year-old. So, yeah, that was cool. And then, Brady, you put the commentary of the race in. So, when you're listening to that, it sort of gets you up and about.
Did you get goosebumps when you listened to the race, the Mottram race he did, one of the episodes?
Yeah.
So did I. I was out running in the bush, and I'd already listened to it because I was the person who inserted the audio in, so I'd already heard it once, but I was getting these biggest goosebumps for that race.
Yeah, and it was cool that he did that one because I was actually in the stands in Paris for the 2003 World Champs, so I got to see that one live.
So you went over there on purpose?
Yeah. Sydney Uni trip or something,
yeah, it was
wasn't
a Sydney Uni tour. So I went over there with my girlfriend at the time, and we basically did a few days in London before heading to Paris, and then we did a trip through Switzerland, Italy, Greek islands, Spain before we flew home.
Jeez, what a trip.
Yeah, so I went to every single night of the athletics, this is what's funny. Back then, it's the idea of doing a marathon, I'm like, fuck that, not interested. I didn't even go and watch the marathon at the Paris World Champs. It was
won it?
All about track.
I'm looking that up now.
The marathon?
Yeah.
No idea. But I did watch all of this, which was pretty cool. So, anyway, that was Tuesday. Wednesday, out at Mulligan's in the afternoon, ran with Jai Edwards and Josh Johnson. So we did a 12K loop, 4:15s. Then Thursday, after work, so I got home from work a little bit later than normal because they gave me an after-school bus duty, which is a bit rough as a relief. And my parents had come over. So I decided not to go to Mulligan's just because it was there's half an hour longer with driving time. So I just jumped on the treadmill for 50 minutes. Had it at 5-minute Ks on the treadmill. But with the Garmin that I wore, I don't know how it works out what pace you're running at. But that was just 10K at supposedly 5-minute Ks. And then Friday, I woke up with a splitting headache and since I've had COVID, there's been like the odd day or two where I just have headaches all day. So I wanted to run. I wanted to do about 90k for the week, but I just felt so rubbish on Friday that I decided to take the day off. And then Saturday morning, got out for another 4:32s. So the line of my run's been super quick. I'm trying to run to heart rate. Like, it's still a bit higher than what I would like. Like, it's still hovering in sort of 140s, which, is not that, which is pretty high, I think, for the pace that I'm sort of running at. But it's all relatively controlled. And then yesterday was my, I guess, first sort of long run since the calf and COVID. I did 90 minutes, 4:24s, and listened to the long and the short of it, episode 5, and race of the week was Radisha's 800 metres at the 2012 Olympics. So, like heart rate for that was, mid 140s, I think, but felt pretty comfortable doing it. And so it was about 80k for the week. So, I've gone like 35, 60, and now 80. This week, hopefully I'll crack 100 and start back with sessions. So I'm going to go out and join the group tomorrow and just do some cruisy 1K reps on the track.
How cruisy?
Like 3:30s.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Like tempo running.
Yeah, like just like that's. I've got a few guys that'll be running around 3:30s to 3:35, so I'll just jump in that as my first session back.
What do you reckon the last rep will be, Brady?
3:03.
Nah, it's new me, Moose.
Oh, I don't know.
So I wanted to get you guys. Oh, actually, no, I'll save it for next week. I've got an idea of what I want to do, like how I want to train from now on, for a while anyway, as a bit of an experiment.
Okay, I like that.
But I'll mention it next week because I know we've been going pretty long with the weekly recaps. Yeah.
Garib, Moroccan guy, won that race, 2:08.31. Troopy, the best Australian, down in 17th, 2:11.46. It's pretty solid for a world champ, isn't it?
It was pretty hot over there too.
Yeah.
I remember it was really warm.
We had 5 guys there. Andrew Leatherby was in 35th in 2:16. Rod de Hayden, 2:16 as well. Nick Harrison, 2:20.16. Shane Nankervis, Moose, your mate from Ballarat.
What do you run?
2:23.12, 55th.
I think they had 5 because I think back then they used to have like a marathon World Cup sort of thing, and you could enter more athletes because obviously now there's no way you can enter 5 athletes in a world championship.
That would have been a field and a half. That would have been like 200 in that field.
Nah, 69 finishes.
69,
wow.
And they
DNFs,
got 5.
DNFs probably 15, 20 DNFs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I wonder how Australia got to send so many then.
5, yeah. Because a lot of like Americans, like Ryan Shea, I know he was DNF, he's at the top there, who ended up passing away at the US Olympic trials, didn't he? In New York, yeah. Yep. He was one of the American runners that didn't finish. But America definitely don't have 5.
It was a good world championships though. The men's 10k, the second 5k was run. The second 5k of the 10k was run in under 13 minutes.
Yeah. Gebrselassie in that race?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he finished second.
Yeah.
Because Bekele was trying to do the double, wasn't he? The 10 and 5 double, and Algarouge was trying to do the 15-5 double.
Yeah. So Bekele won the 10, and Gebrselassie was second.
And then Kipchoge ruined it for both of them. No one doubled. Yeah. Luke's good at talking about that stuff. Knows his stuff.
Yeah,
got some knowledge in that head of his. I'll quickly go through my week. Didn't really do much this week. It was I actually did a couple of workouts. Monday, kicked things off. 4:56 pace. Why was that so slow? Vic Country Champs the week before. That's why that was so slow. An hour at 4:56s on the Monday before work. Tuesday, met up with Archie. We did a 10-minute threshold. So he was a bit quicker than me because he's a bit fitter than me. So he was a bit up the road. I averaged 3:11s though for my 10 minutes. And then we spiked up. He had 10 400s. I did 8 300s. And then I did the last 2 400s with him. And he was kind of going through in about 65, 66-ish. And I was taking him through, Moose, leading every rep, considering I wasn't doing the full rep. I reckon that's the etiquette when you do that stuff with people on the track.
What if you're not fast enough to do that?
Maybe you should have been only doing like 200s or 300s as Toby.
You still got to get a workout in.
You got to help the guy out though who's doing the main workout, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, but Moose was at the track that day, still thinking he was the big dog.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you imagine doing helping out a bloke 6 minutes slower than you?
It comes down to marathon PB.
This is your problem, Moose. You need to forget about that and
ego.
train to where you are right now.
That doesn't mean I got to be someone's bitch, though.
just helps
train
both of you guys.
Train on your own then.
And then we got back in the flats after those shorter reps, and then did another 10 minutes. My heart rate, for some reason, have you guys done this before? So I had my heart rate on for the first 10 minutes, but then took it off for the track reps, just because it was like I didn't really care what my heart rate was doing when I was doing the shorter reps. And then I went to put it back on, but it didn't pick up again. Whereas I thought they should.
Wait, what are you using?
Yeah, the Coros and Garmin heart rate monitor.
That's annoying.
So then, because I said to Archie, I'm like, hey, it's super hot. We're pretty, we're obviously a lot more tired for this last 10 minutes than we are the first 10 minutes. So I am not going over like 100. Like I'm keeping mine 165. I don't care if it's 320s, 330s, whatever it is. But I'm definitely not chasing a pace to match the first one, because this should be significantly slower, the second one. And then I got like a minute in and my heart rate wasn't coming up on the screen. So maybe I've got to leave it on in future to get that.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Or do I need to save it and then start a new run? Because this was all in the one file.
It shouldn't be a problem. I haven't had that problem. I do that all the time.
Yeah. I haven't really done it that often, so I wasn't sure if that's a thing or not. So yeah, we were 3, and then obviously it didn't pick up, so we kind of just kept it at 3:19s for the last 10 minutes. That was good. Pretty humid by the end of it, like just sweating everywhere, like just embarrassing the sweat level. It was hot and humid, so I think that was the last humid day though. Then they just changed to dry heat here. Not sure what it was like where you guys were, but that was good. I got out for 32 minutes in the afternoon that day. That's 7:46 p.m, so pretty late one, but it was good to. I don't mind running at that hour. It's just a bit tricky to sleep. Like you can't really jump in bed at 8:30 and start reading and switching off because you're still kind of buzzing a bit. So that's the only negative impact for that hour. Wednesday, easy hour again, 4:49s. These are slow, hot, heart rate on, just keeping it like 125, 130, not really looking at a pace. 90 minutes on Thursday. I also listened to the long and the short of it there, and I just put in my comments that they're covering the microphones well, so I thought that was probably the best show they've put together so far. I actually had to stop because I was listening on my phone, and I stopped. There was one moment when Louis asked Luke a question, and then it opened up this like fascinating conversation, the bit I'm talking about.
About athlete contracts
and stuff. And how
the
contracts work and how much you get paid. And it was a pretty personal question, like how's he feeling about potentially losing his income as an athlete. And then so I actually stopped and I just sent him a message saying like, oh, that was a great question. Like you just worded it so well that it wasn't too intrusive, if that makes sense. Like it was a very genuine, like authentic question. And it was felt like he was kind of asking for his well-being more than anything. In the afternoon that day, I got out for 33 minutes, 7K, 441s. Then a second workout Friday morning. Archie was doing 1K reps, and so I set my watch for 900 metres. Did the first 900 with him, which meant he was going off 90 seconds jog, so I had like an extra probably 15 seconds, 16 seconds in between my reps just jogging. And yeah, I kind of held 258 pace for the first 900 with him, so that was good. I thought that might have been a bit harder and I might have had to cap him to 800, but I think my fitness is coming along a bit. And then I drove to the airport actually, so I was down at Ocean Grove, not far from you, Moose, with a group of uni mates. So I had to drive to the airport to pick one of them up that was flying in from Brisbane, and then we went down there Friday night. Good to see. It's like, fellas, the older you get, the less you see of your mates who you've kind of gone to uni with, and they've all ended up in different spots around of Australia. Yeah. So that was, and some of these guys, I guess, through COVID, like I haven't seen a few of them for 2 years, which is weird because you're in all these Facebook message groups and you talk every day, but you never actually see them in person. So it was really nice to see them in person and chill out and have a couple of beers. And Saturday got out for just 40 minutes in Ocean Grove there. And then Sunday just had the day off, woke up a bit hungover Sunday morning, and then a big drive home. And then the last thing I wanted to say to Carly when I got home after being away for the weekend was that I needed a bit of time to go for a run. So I had the day off, 101k for the week. And things are going well. Looking forward to pacing this week at the Frenzy, the 5k Frenzy. Good fields. And it's really good because we've kind of marketed it. Well, I've kind of pushed this. I'm not sure if the race organisers wanted this, but as a real kind of opportunity for people to hit that 14:25 qualifying time. So for the national 5K champs. So we've got a whole lot of people who are in that kind of shape, and there's two. Me and Matt Buckle are both going to pace to try and get them through 3K in like 8:38, 8:39, which should set them up to hopefully hold that pace, or if we can at least get them to 3.5, 4K maybe, to then they'll kick it home anyway. But if we can kind of hand it to them on a platter, there should be a whole lot of them running 14:25, just under that.
Let's hope you don't bring your Box Hill 3K form. Otherwise, you won't hit that split. Yeah, that's right, Brad. No, it wasn't Box Hill. It was somewhere else down there. Did you run it? You ran it at Box Hill? Nah, it was down at what's the Glen Huntley Athletics track? It was pissing down rain.
Duncan McKinnon.
Yeah, it was that one. I only ever raced there once. No, it wasn't Box Hill.
Okay.
Box Hill is where I went the weekend after Brad to run 14:09.
Yeah.
And then the week after that to run 29:34. Sorry, Moose.
How's the newborn going?
Yeah, good. Yeah, Carly's 7 weeks post C-section now. So the newborn, it's good because it all progresses in the right direction. Like obviously Carly gets more recovered, which means she can do more stuff and is feeling better about her health and that. And also Olivia's getting more used to life and when to sleep and when to be awake and what kind of happens in a daily routine. So, and I was back at work. My first full week back was, even though I took a day off on Friday to go away, was last weekend. So, yeah, thanks for asking. But heading in the right direction. Still bloody hard with 2 kids. But, I still don't think I'll be able to run much more than 115, 120K for a few more weeks.
Get away for some boys' weekends, though.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that was booked in a long time ago. Like I think maybe like September or something like that. So, won't be doing that very often. Probably for another 12 months. That was all right. So you probably, after your recap of your Sunday long run, you're probably lucky I didn't rock it down there, actually. Would have made it even harder for you. Heart rate would have been 170 average if I was there.
I'm not sure. You'll probably still be at the bottom of one of those hills, sucking your thumb. No, fetal position.
I reckon my fitness is a bit higher than yours at the moment.
Calling for mummy.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Who are we thanking, Croaks, Patreon this week?
I got Michael Guyton. Michael lives in Booker in Victoria. Where's that, guys? Where's Booker?
Booker.
Have you heard of it?
Never heard of that.
Nah.
Okay.
Now.
So he's run 18:48 for 5K, 39:48 for 10, 87 for the half, which he did in Melbourne last year, and 3:14 for the marathon, which he did in 2017, also at Melbourne. Pretty sure he's a big dog of the finance world. Maybe he's the Associate Director of Strategy and Transactions at EY, and he also barracks for the Demons. So
what's EY?
Ernst & Young.
I don't know what that is.
Is that what
it's
it
like
means,
It's like an accounting finance firm.
Not far from Terang, Camperdown,
Warrnambool. Wow. Okay. How can you be an associate? How can you be living? Oh, yeah, but you're going to be a big dog like that. You can't be living down there.
No, all big dogs work from home these days, don't they?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe
a lot of people travel. Yeah.
Not far from that Ballarat either, though, would it, Moose? It's in between Ballarat and Warrnambool.
That's a big area.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big farming area too, like tiny towns.
Looks like there's some big lakes in there.
Oh, yeah?
Colac and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, Lake Colac.
Oh, there's another big one to the left of that.
Is there? Yeah, there's good.
I don't know. I really don't.
Could be in the Otways down there. Booker.
Big year for Michael, though. PB in the Melbourne half and the Demons getting a win, the grand final.
Demons getting a win. I mean, he's a fan of the Demons. Chances are he's rolling in it. He's probably got a farm, just massive acreage down there, right in the Otways.
Anyway, thanks for your support, Michael.
Michael. I saw the captain of the Demons down there on Saturday, Moose. Ocean Grove, Max Gorn. I didn't see him. One of my mates saw him.
Oh, yeah?
I should have got his autograph for Michael. Next time, Mick. Who are you thinking, Moose?
Pat Gibney. Pat's from Brunswick in Victoria. We know where that is.
17 hipster suburb, isn't it? Brunswick?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, he's got a beard, so that makes sense.
It's fitting in well there.
17:39 5K, 36:40 for 10. That sort of lines up, doesn't it? maybe the 10's quick. 118 half, 254 at Melbourne. Owns a boxer. That's a dog, Brady?
Yep.
Did you make that call on the boxer?
Yeah, I did. And boxers, my pop always had boxers when we were growing up, so I know what a boxer is.
That's safe then.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to say it's not like a fucking Labrador or something. Does a bit of bushwalking and skiing. Yeah, all those hipsters real into like hiking, backcountry skiing and stuff. It's like a real fashionable, trendy thing to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not offended, Pat.
Thanks for support, Pat.
Mate.
Please don't cancel your Patreon subscription.
Good on you, Pat.
I'm going to thank Alex Reardon from Dow Park in South Australia. Got some PBs here. I think maybe a bit younger. 14.21 for 1,500. 9.35 for 3K. 16.40 for 5K. Legit AFL football umpire over there in South Australia. He's got like all the good gear on. A couple of.
So he umpires in the AFL?
No, I reckon legit. It's not an AFL football umpire. What do you actually call it? Australian rules football umpire. It's the AFL.
The SAFL.
Yeah, but the sport he's umpiring is Australian rules, not Australian Football League. But you've called him a
big dog. You've called him legit.
Oh yeah, looked like they were good South Australian games, like just under AFL level.
Yeah, that is a good league there. Yeah, that is a good league.
Sample, isn't it?
Yeah, they're good there.
Yeah. This is how legit he is. There's photographers taking photos of him as the umpire.
It's probably his mum.
No, they were like professional photos, unless his mum's a photographer. Like you type his name.
Why would you
Google.
want photos of an umpire though?
That's a pretty honourable thing to do, Moose umpire.
I'm just saying.
No games about the umpires.
Who's buying those pictures?
He's probably buying them and putting them on his Strava. That's where I saw it.
Anyway.
Alex, thank you for your support. Also doesn't mind a bit of a bike ride, gets out on the bike a bit, and he's a great tracker of shoes on Strava. So he has all his pairs up there, how many cases in them, all those kind of things.
It's good. It's a good feature of Strava that I've got to get back to using it more often.
Agreed.
You got to have time in your day, I reckon. It takes too long to do that stuff.
It doesn't take that long.
Nah. Not with the titles and captions you write. You could easily do that.
My pair on Strava has like 25,000 Ks on it. I've just got one pair on there.
Is that... Yeah, I reckon I know what it is. I reckon it was a free one we got once.
Some ASICS thing, I think. Shoes, ASICS Nimbus Lite, 10,261 Ks.
That was a free one.
They send me emails all the time saying it's maybe time to update your shoes. I'm like, I'm just not changing it, guys. Running news, fellas. Kick things off. Might go to South Australia first. They had their 3K champs over there. And two past interviewees went 1-2, and a Patreon supporter that we thanked last week went 4th. So I thought that was pretty good. Izzy Batt-Doyle got the win, 901.87. Jessica Pascoe, Croaks, remember interviewing her? She was over there at college back in the day.
Yep, I do.
Moved to South Australia. She ran 9:31. And Brooke Hines was third. She ran 9:45. Zoe Toland, the fan of Gang of Youths Moose from last week, she was 4th, 9:52.
Good, Zoe.
Good from Zoe. Have to update her Patreon shout-out PBs next time we get around to doing that again. Because that's what we're going to have to do. When we run out of people, we're just going to have to go back to the start with new fun facts and new PBs.
I'm sure there's some out there.
I mean, thinking about this. Oh, yeah. We've still got a few to go. Isaac Heyne won the men's, 8:03.16. Jared Clifford made the trip over. Maybe his first race back, post-Paralympics, I think, 8:07. And Daniel Canala was third in 8:10. This was deep, though, like Riley Cox 4th, 8:12. Thomas Dow from AH Elite Moose. Croaks, I reckon, is your mate. Is he the one that does all your Instagram stuff?
No, that's Jack.
Jack, is it? Or Tom? He's like the poster boy for him over there. He's the one that races in the speed suit.
Yeah.
He was,
really?
Yeah, big PB from him. He ran 8:13.
I think you've just offended Adrian Potter, saying that Tom's the big dog of AH Elite.
Well,
but he's on the way up.
Is Adrian Potter's name in that top 5? He did have Zatopek though. I don't think Adrian was here. So,
yeah, there's a few not here, obviously. I mean, Isaac, class winner. But, I mean, you're missing Max Stevens.
Matt Clark.
I think Max Stevens was there, just not top 5.
Oh, dang.
So, Matty Clark. It's so strong over there in South Australia, isn't it?
Yep, doing good things.
Yeah, they sure are. Some more news out of Norway. No, we've got a few Norwegian listeners. Gjert Ingebrigsten. He's stepped down as a coach of Team Ingebrigtsen. So, obviously, his 3 sons, including Jakob, who is the Olympic 1500 metre gold medalist. And at this stage, the brothers will be coaching themselves. See this news, fellas? Stepping down to take medical leave. Big hole to fill, isn't it?
Do you know what I found interesting? Like, Christian from Norway normally has his finger on the pulse, and we messaged him, and he's given us nothing. Given us nothing.
No intel at all, was there?
No.
No stories.
At first, I thought that I didn't know about the medical leave, and I thought that there was he was just not coaching them anymore, and so I thought, oh wow, something's boiled over here. But it's actually quite sad, really, if he's sick. Just because, I mean, for the simple fact he's a father of 8 kids or something, or seven or 8.
And although they dominate, Jakob's obviously just dominated. It's still a stressful time. Like, even when you're winning, that's a stressful job to be doing.
Oh, and the guys,
there's people coming for you.
He is a good coach. He's created a system. I mean, he's obviously taken aspects from different people, of course, like anybody ever does. But he is, he's taken these kids to the top of the world.
Yeah. The good thing is, I think their system is so robust now that all three of them know because from what Christian was saying the other week, their weeks are basically identical and everything's measured with lactate. So, they know exactly what they need to do week to week. It's probably more just the behind the scenes, at races, just, having somebody there to calm their nerves or come up with a bit of a race strategy. But in terms of day-to-day training, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to just keep doing it themselves.
I don't know. I reckon he played a much bigger role than just setting training on.
I think he
I
instilled a lot of belief in them. The mental benefits of him.
Discipline as well. I think it'll be really interesting to see how they come out of this without. You'd think that maybe Henrik steps up to take on that role, but he just doesn't seem like the same sort of person that Gjert is. They're pretty different personalities. You can see from the docos.
The docos, they all seem pretty self-motivated as well. I can't say him saying, "I'll step back my own running," because he still wants to be the world champ and the gold medalist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think he's probably at the most realistic. I think he would say, "No, this my time's kind of up now."
Yeah.
I reckon he would know. He's sort of been battling injuries for so long. He's always riding that line.
Yeah. We're just coming off a surgery, isn't he? Wasn't that the last episode?
Hamstring, I think.
That was a great episode on that documentary as well. The one where Jakob won the gold. They had all the people in the stadium.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's worth watching, Moose.
Almost teared up.
So did I, yeah. Yeah, I definitely was getting a bit shaky. And I don't even like the guy because he cost me that massive multi-bet, remember? It cost me thousands of dollars, that Timmy Chariot not getting over him that day. But anyway, I do like you. Jakob, if you're listening.
Kids haven't eaten for a week.
You're more than happy to come on anytime you want, Jakob. Some news out of the US, Croaks. Probably just read this one straight out, I was thinking.
Yeah, not such good news. Disgraced running coach was barred for life for alleged sexual assault. The famed running coach, Alberto Salazar, who helped top Americans be more competitive in track and field before he was suspended for doping violations, was barred from the sport for life last month after an arbitrator found that he more likely than not had sexually assaulted an athlete on 2 different occasions, according to a summary of the ruling reviewed by the New York Times. The case against Salazar was pursued by the United States Centre for SafeSport, an organisation that investigates reports of abuse within Olympic sports. SafeSport ruled Salazar permanently ineligible in July 2021, finding that he had committed 4 violations, which included 2 instances of penetrating a runner with a finger while giving an athletic massage. Salazar asked for an arbitration hearing where he denied the accusations and said he did not speak with or see the runner on the days in question. The arbitrator did not find Salazar's explanation credible and accepted his accuser's version of events. So, continues to make the news for the wrong reasons.
Hopefully this is the last time, though, isn't it? He's done. See you later.
Yeah.
This is like criminal stuff, though. This is like go to jail, not just talk about in running circles.
Yeah, I wonder if the athlete will be named at some point.
Doesn't have to be.
No, but
their privacy is more important, I reckon. Yeah, pretty sick. Moose, you got anything to add there before we move on?
Yeah, it makes you feel a bit ill, doesn't it? It just, at the start, like, honestly, I think he played in the grey area a lot. I actually didn't think he was like that dirty, like in terms of like blatant doping offences. And so at the very beginning when they were talking about the doping stuff he did, I'm like, oh, it's all real borderline stuff. This is like, okay, you're done now. Like, we need to remove you. We need to remove you. We don't want to ever see you again. And it's almost like we don't really want to mention him again.
Did they remove him from no, you probably can't, like the winners list and stuff? I know they've removed stuff off him from Nike, like headquarters, but have they done that with like the New York results?
For his own running?
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, sorry, no. He's still going to be a champion in all those races.
Yeah, he's still won those.
Yeah.
But I remember we were there in 2019 and there was protesting going on about, I think that was when it came out, like right at the time where his treatment of some of the ladies on the team in terms of like the weight stuff and that sort of what they considered emotional abuse at the time came out. And they were they were protesting outside the Salazar building. Like the women wouldn't work in the building at the time. And so they pulled that down. I'm not sure when.
Certainly hurt his legacy. Like in hindsight, he would have been best off just, being Salazar the athlete and that's it, and never getting into coaching.
Yeah, but then you got the medals with Farah and Rupp.
Yeah, but he was a
coach for a while.
But he was a star before that anyway.
Yeah. The other bit of running news I had was the Sun Run up there your way, Croaks, not far from you. Now is this usually a bit deeper than this? Is it usually one in under 30?
It's a reasonably hilly course, and it's, I guess, because it's not a super quick course and it's track season. It's a bit hit and miss as to who turns up, and also believe that we've had some pretty strong winds up this way recently, and because it's point to point running down the coast, I think it was pretty much headwind the whole way. So Kieren won the men's in 31:43. Leo Peterson was second in 32:34, and Lachlan Bryant was third in 32:50. In the women's, Aynslee Van Graan was first in 35:34. Rosie Webber second, 36:52, and third was Lexi Gilmore, 37:03.
Hey, have you got an update? What's Benny Saint usually wins this? Is he fit at the moment?
Not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Tommy ran real quick there one year too.
Right, Tommy.
Yeah.
He's got a broken foot, hasn't he, Moose? When are you guys doing shoe gigs?
Yeah, well, we had one lined up, but we had it lined up with a guest and everything from America, but life happened, mate, and so we're trying to organise a time right now. We've got three very busy boys.
We'll get there. If you're one of the listeners wondering where that is, that will be getting there.
It's coming.
We'll get there. Listener question, Croaks.
All right. Hey, mate, great work with the show. A lot of us hacks don't have access to a nice track for sessions. If you had to pick between the following, what would be your preference for a session? 1, sports field, not a running track, but a field that sometimes has long grass and uneven surfaces. 2, bike path. 3, flat road. 4, undulating fire trail. Also, for your go-to surface, what shoes would you wear? I imagine some of the carbon-soled shoes lose a lot of their benefit on the grass. Great work, Ben. Thanks, Ben. Good question.
Good question, Ben. I like this one. This is for all the blue-collar runners out there who don't have access to an athlete's track. You boys wouldn't know much about this stuff.
Well, I'd probably choose given, you do 2 sessions a week, I would probably choose, an undulating fire trail for one session. And if I had to choose between a bike path and a flat road, I would definitely go the road, as long as it's obviously safe, because I just feel like you can get a better rhythm. Bike paths are often quite windy. So they would be my 2, an undulating tempo on a fire trail and like a flat road for shorter, faster intervals, or a longer marathon session if the marathon's flat.
Yeah, the fire trail, there's so much variance in that. That could be anywhere from a nice, groomed dirt
Mulligans.
road.
I'm talking one that you can actually run on without rolling your ankle.
Mulligans is
decent
good.
pace.
Yeah. But we have some
Those
fire
hilly
trails
tempos.
around here with crevices like 2 meters deep. You don't.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah, I would choose the fire trail for the tempo work, and I would choose the bike path for the repeats.
Oh, bike path moves.
Yeah,
Don't you find though, like having to just dodge people and like that just shits me when I'm doing a session.
But cars give
Yeah.
me a lot of anxiety, and there's nothing worse than having a car scream by you, like fast when you don't really know it's there. I hate it. I hate
You
it.
fully
if you had to-
eliminate
but if you-
the cars
alright.
if you're doing that. Like,
Let's
it's out of
cha-
your mind.
Let's change it, Moose. If like you're in a place where there's basically no traffic whatsoever, would you still choose bike path over a flat road?
Well, if you were on a bike path with no twists and turns, with no bikes on it, would you? You?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess it's all. Yeah, I would then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got to. I mean, there's again a lot of variance. But this is we probably getting a bit
Yeah.
carried away here.
Yeah.
The sports field is.
Oh,
I can't
that's
see you
no-
doing anything on that. Like sports field,
Nah.
long grass, uneven surface.
That sucks.
That's not good. And if you,
Yeah.
you can't even hit your splits on that. You're better off putting a cone down or something on a bike path where you can get a good stretch
Yeah.
up and back, things like that.
Shoes on them. So the shoes on the bike path, you wear or the flat road, just wear your road racing shoes, whatever they may be. The fire trail is the interesting one because a lot of the carbon shoes, they also high stack with super spongy and quite unstable foam in them. And if you're on something like that's got a camber or steeper hills, or even just having like bigger rocks under your foot, you might feel really unstable. So some of the lower profile flats might be better for that type of workout.
I found RC Elite
Yeah.
version 1. Like I did a lot of sessions at Mulligan's in those and loved them.
They are good, but you won't be able to find them anymore.
No.
Yeah, and you don't need spikes or anything because you're not going to go on that sports field.
Yep.
Good question, Ben. New train talk segment, Moose. So on this part of the segment, we're going to talk about, hopefully you listen to it and it makes you a better runner in some kind of way. So some weeks it might be a workout we're going to unpack. Some weeks it might be a trainer mistake we've suffered from, experienced over the years, or we've seen other people experience from, and we think that knowing about that mistake's better to hear about on here than it is to make that same mistake yourself. And hopefully it's something that people enjoy, and it obviously makes you a better runner. So Moose, we're going to swap it around for the next 3 weeks, change it up every week, but you wanted to bring a session to the show this week, and obviously to stroke your own ego, you've picked a session that's named after yourself.
Well, I actually, before I get into it, I think people need to understand the relationship between work and rest and volume and duration a lot better with their workouts. And I think this sort of series talking about different workouts and how you might go about changing them to suit specific purposes might help that, because a lot of the time I see people doing workouts like, let's just say 6 by K at a certain, and 60 seconds off. They won't know what effort to go at, and so they just go really hard and smash themselves. Or then they might do 8 by K with they don't understand the difference in the how all those different variables within a workout are connected. So I think if we go through a series of them, then they might start be able to plan their own training a lot better. So the first one is it's called the Moose Fartlek. Not sure who came up with this name, but brilliant, because it is a brilliant workout. So 30 minutes total running. It's a workout that can be done for someone training for all distances. I feel like it's nice to throw into a marathon workout, into a marathon block. And it's also nice as a sort of aerobic workout for a 5K, in a 5K block as well. So the 30 minutes is broken up into 5 sets of 6 minutes blocks, run continuously. So it's non-stop running for 30 minutes, and it's organised like this. 5 sets of 3 minutes at 10K to half marathon effort, 1 minute jog, then 1 minute at 5K effort with 1 minute jog. And so the jogs, it's not floating. It's not supposed to be fast. It's not a walk. It's somewhere in the middle, if that makes sense. So at the start, you might find that you're running about, I'm going to say 45 seconds slower per K than your 3-minute effort for the jog, but that might end up being a minute to 2 minutes slower by the time that you're finishing the workout, especially if you've gone a bit harder.
And understanding that pace might not be super accurate because it's only a 1 minute. Like, it's only measured in 1 minute. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter really. As long as you're
you're trying to recover and get the heart rate down in that 1 minute.
Yeah, the idea behind this whole workout is you don't have pace showing on your watch. It's run to feel. You don't even need heart rate showing because the intervals are quite small, that I actually just run this one all to feel. So it's 3 minutes at your 10K to half marathon effort, 1 minute easy, 1 minute 5K effort, 1 minute jog. So the 3 minute reps are just under threshold. Like when I say just under threshold, I mean just over threshold in terms of it's feeling a bit harder than your threshold runs. We're after a sort of, we want you to get in the rhythm. 3 minutes of that shouldn't be that difficult. It's not too hard, but it's enough to feel tough after the 5th rep of it. So you shouldn't go chasing the feel of being cooked at the end of these 3 minute reps. And then obviously the jog, then the 5K effort is about changing gears. So we want to spike the heart rate. We want to get the legs turned over into that faster cadence, quicker ground contact time, like a bit more power. We want to flood the blood with lactate. Then that 1 minute jog after the 5K effort is probably going to be a lot slower than the 1 minute jog after the 3 minute effort because you'll need it. And then you come off that jog back into that steady run again. So it's sort of cycled through a few gears in this workout. You get a bit of a bang for your buck. You get some threshold running. You get some VO2 max stuff as well.
And is it fair to say, Moose, when you go back to that 3 minute effort, you should almost feel like your brakes are on. Like you shouldn't be working to hit that effort. It should be like, okay, I'm comfortable here. You're still working, but you're comfortable because you've just come off that much stronger 1 minute rep.
Yeah, I want to see a decent difference between the 5K, between the 1 minute and the 3 minute. So for instance, if I go out there, if I went out and did this tomorrow, I would do the 3 minutes I would hope to see that it would come out about 3:15s, and then the 1 minutes would be at about 3 minute pace. So about 15 seconds for me. But to reiterate, it's not about pace. There has to be a real change in feel between the two. It has to feel medium and then it has to feel hard.
Hey Moose, I got a similar question to what Brady asked. I know every time I've given these type of sessions to people, because you run 1 minute a lot faster than that 3 minute and then you have a minute recovery, the temptation you go out then to start that next 3 minute rep and that first minute of that 3 minutes sometimes is significantly faster because it feels easy after you've done that 5K effort. So how do you, I guess, make sure that you don't cook it early in that 3 minute rep coming off the quicker 5K effort?
Yeah, I think you've just got to be comfortable with it not being as hard, and you've got to be patient and be a bit more disciplined there. It's again another thing that we practice when we train is being disciplined and understanding pacing, especially early in a rep. So you might do this session a couple of times before you get it right. And then the one, I often find the 1 minute effort, I go too hard because I feel like I'm let off the leash a little bit. And so instead of running 5K effort, I end up running like 3K or 1500 meter effort, and I ruin the session that way.
Because a minute's then not long enough to recover before going back into a 3 minute.
That's it. Yeah, and so it does take a little bit to get right, but 30 minutes isn't that long, and especially you should get to it. You could do this out and back, and you should get to halfway with this feeling pretty good. It doesn't normally get hard until like the fourth or fifth set.
Yeah, and I think it's sometimes good there, like planning to get back further than what you went out without going all out at the end there. Like I've made the mistake before where I've just got one of mine up here where we've kind of hit 250 pace for the first minute, but then by the last one we're hitting 230 pace for the last minute because we're like, well, 1 more minute to go, let's just full gas it. That's not what you want to do. You should be able to match the last 1 minute with the first 1 minute.
Classic truffle.
231 pace, yeah. We done 390 metres in the last minute. Straight road too, no GPS bullshit there, fellas. We did 9.3k. Anyone beat that? I'll give you a Patreon subscription.
Moose, another question.
I wasn't finished there. Can I continue?
Oh, sorry.
The trap then is, then I would pick another location to do the out and back. So you don't want to go, last time I did this, I got to that driveway in 15 minutes. This time I'm going to fang it and get, 200 metres past that driveway. Nah. Then you don't want to become obsessive with it, because then even though you might not be looking at your paces, you know whereabouts you are on the road, and you're going to turn that session into a bit of a race.
Yep, that's a good point.
Moose, have you often, because 30 minutes is like quite a long session for some people. Have you slowly built this up in people's programs where initially they might do 3 sets of it, then 4, then 5?
Yeah, I have. Start with 3 normally, build into it, or even start, instead of going 3 minutes, I'll go 2 minutes, 1 minute jog, and I might even just do 30 seconds at 5K effort as well. Just so the volume is down. I still keep the effort levels the same. I don't change that. I either just change the amount of reps or the duration of each rep.
Yeah.
I actually also don't mind doing 3 sets, maybe a week out from a race. If you just want to keep in tune with 2 different paces without everything being hard or everything being a bit too easy, that's a nice 18-minute workout.
Yeah, it's good for that too.
Yeah, it's got a lot of flexibility, this workout. And I know you said that 3 minutes, you've got in the notes here a 10k to half marathon pace. The first time people are doing it, it's better to just hit that half marathon effort or pace instead of jumping straight into 10k effort or pace, because you might not have a positive experience in the first time. Get one on the board first and then maybe see how that pace felt and adjust the next time you do it.
Yeah, or even do the first 2 reps at half marathon effort, and then you can start to drop it down.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep saying effort here because this one's all about effort. Yeah.
And ideally in your week, of course, you wouldn't do this workout the day after or the day before another workout's planned. You'd follow this with a recovery day. You'd have a recovery day before it, so you're hitting it fresher. Yeah,
at least one recovery day. We believe in 2 workouts a week with a long run, and so say you do this on a Wednesday morning, then you'll have Thursday off, maybe Friday off as well. Not off, but just easy, and then you'll do a workout Saturday.
That's good, fellas. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yep.
Moose on the loose, purchase of the week, rules of Strava. Or are we skipping that because we just did that?
Nah, let's just call out Nitter. So fellow Inside Running podcast member of the team, Michael Nitter-Nishke, podiatrist in Adelaide, also involved in the Adelaide Harriers over there. He was, I'll just pull up his Instagram. He was very happy with his own work the other day.
I haven't seen this. I'm going to pull this up as well.
Yeah, he's on his Instagram. Michael Nitter21 he is. Post a pic of himself in second place. It is great to be part of some over 35 competitive track races at Athletics SA. A couple of fellas not far behind. He's even gone a hashtag track and a hashtag 3,000 metres. But, Nitter, this over 35 category, it doesn't exist. I'm not sure who came up with this. Surely it might just be a South Australian thing.
Hang on, so he didn't win. He came second in the over 35.
He didn't win, but I reckon these blokes, the bottom line is these blokes should be running in the open division, right? Over 35. Sinead Diver's 45 and runs in the open. She's not looking for over 45 races or over 40 races. You got nearly every one of our marathoners is nearly in this block now. Yet we're still talking about age group racing. This is the peak of your athletic career, Michael. Don't go searching for cheap wins. Race race against the rest of the competitors. You're in your prime, mate.
I do love that one of the comments on this post is over 35 is a bullshit category, and that's from you. This is Moose on the Loose 3 days ago on here.
Yeah, well, I haven't had a lot of good ones lately, but I saw this and I'm like...
he's in are they allowed to wear next percent because they're over 35 too? No, don't tell me that's a rule.
That must be a rule, because look at him.
He's in the next percent.
Got the necks on. You got bloke in front of him wearing a pair of dragonflies, so that's all legal.
Bloke behind him, dragonflies as well.
Yeah, so Nitter is actually an asterisk next to his name here.
I was 35 in a couple of months when I ran my 3K PB.
That's a good point.
That's a good bit of evidence.
That's actually a great reason not to have an over 35 category.
He does have a kid though.
What I hear, Moose, is that
35, did you?
There's no shoe geeks this month because Nitter's still celebrating.
Well, I'll give him. He's got
it's
good that he's injury free and running. That's a win. Got to give him that.
Yeah, and you need to pick little goals, small wins. I don't mind that either. If that's winning over 35s, he wins that, and then he goes into the open race next time.
I don't know.
He's coming back from an injury too, isn't he?
I can find him some goals. If he needs goals, I'll find some for him.
Bring it up on Tuesday next episode. All right, what's coming up, fellas? Croaks, what are you doing?
I've got an interview tomorrow, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I'm interviewing Sam Burke. So I used to race against Sam. I think he's run like 150 for 800 and maybe 350 for 15. He was actually the founder or co-founder of Runners Tribe. So I'm going to get him on for a chat because, Runners Tribe's been around for like 10 to 15 years, and it's always been that sort of go-to website to find out, any sort of Australian running news. So, I'm going to have a chat to him.
That was big before the internet even took off. Before social media, I mean.
I reckon 2007, 2008, it was around. Yeah. So anyway, I'll find out tomorrow. So, it'll be good to catch up with Sam.
I'm just on there now. A new article on Ollie Hall written there by Glenn Johnson. Haven't read that yet. Anyway, Moose, what are you doing?
Oh, same old, mate. Got to go to work, of course. That's it. That's it for me. That's it.
Some shoes.
Oh, I've got to organise some more of this camp, actually.
Oh, yeah? Did you get many sign-ups after last week?
Yeah, got a few. Got a few come through. I think people need to see more video of it. So Ali's going to take more footage this week. So go give the Run Strong page a like. And you might see some actual video of the trail that you could be running on. But we're getting pumped for it.
The trail isn't the draw card though, is it? Isn't it being around you and Ali is the draw card, the headliner?
Perhaps Ali, she's going to be doing signings on the Friday evening. So we'll get some cards printed with her face on it. She can sign them.
What about, I showed you that one the other day. I found Craig Mottram signed one for me back in 2004.
You want to give that? Did he sign your name?
Yeah, it says to Brady.
Oh, I don't want that anymore.
It says to Brady, keep enjoying the sport. I reckon I've done a pretty good job of enjoying the sport since 2004.
If only he knew. If only he knew.
What this would turn into.
Yeah.
He just kept me inspired, the young whippersnapper back in the day.
Anyway. Did you work out where it was from?
No, still not sure. Still don't know where I would have got it from him. Don't know. It's probably last year when I just bumped into him at a race or something. It was ages ago. All right, we're done. See you, fellas. We'll do it all again next week. Throw 20 minutes of the long and short of it there. 20 minutes coming from last week. Enjoy that, ladies and gents. Sign up to patreon.com/Inside Run Podcast if you want to hear a bit more of it. See you, boys.
See you, guys.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to episode 5. Far out, episode 5, that's gone by quickly. Welcome to episode 5 of The Long and the Short of It. My name is Luke Matthews. I know that I said it last week, the best looking, but also probably the funniest host as well.
Ooh,
and as I've taken the unofficial host role, I plan to add to that every single episode. But yeah, I mean, This is a running podcast, and I haven't really been running too much, so that's why I've decided to bring on two good friends of mine. So firstly, fresh off his Zatopek 10 national championships last week. We have, or is it this week? No, yeah, last week. We have Lewis McAfee.
And I'm also going to add on to what I said last week. I've pulled up your Wikipedia page again. Another great quote from it. One is, he is known to have a boogie and wave his arm around so everyone can see his Olympic tattoo, which is plastered all over his arm.
So,
Classic.
I mean, I'm not going to plug these guys, but fuck. Sorry, I've been told off about swearing, so I'm going to try to stop swearing as well. But I listened to For the Kudos, that podcast with Joel, Brett, and Roses on it, and they potted me in that. Well, they actually potted me twice, but they potted me in that for getting my Olympic rings in a really noticeable spot. And they accused me of potentially waving my arms around. And you know what? Still, I worked hard for that. I'm going to do it.
So where exactly is it? I haven't seen it yet.
Hang on a second, Louis.
Really?
Do it with your Olympic rings.
One day when one of my friends goes, I'll get one.
Yeah, Louis, how's it going?
Good. Not good actually.
Good.
I feel like a bag of dicks, and I have for the last couple of days.
That's got nothing to do with your sickness, though.
No. So I have COVID. Came back from Melbourne, probably got it there. Because I was pretty boring on the weekend. Didn't really go out, so I must have got it in Melbourne. And
so it took about 4 days to hit you, did it? 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, and fuck, did it hit me? It was like a train. Like yesterday, I was on the couch.
After the race?
No, I was good. I just went back to Luke Bell's house and stayed there. So yeah, I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. I think it may have been from the airport or something, but yeah, I have no idea. So yeah, if I have voice cracks, I'm not 15 again. I'm just rough. That's what happens to me. But yeah, I was rolling
and even though she has
I was rolling a fever of like 40 degrees and yesterday, and I started
on top of what, like a 30-degree day in.
It was like 41 today.
Oh, rough.
And humid as. And I started work this week, so luckily it was online, and I didn't have to take any sick days, but that was it's been a stressful week.
So you knew you had it before you got a result? Like, did you just take a rap or?
Yeah, I took a rapid. I felt something in my throat, and I thought maybe I've been pretty good at dodging it, so I thought.
I thought you were immune. This came as a big surprise.
I know. Yeah. I know.
You did do a good job at it, to be fair. Oh wait, just quickly. Even though she's already spoken, we actually are joined by our third host as well, Jessica Stenson.
Oh, hi everyone.
Is that the right word? Knee? Like I always see that.
Yeah.
NEE. Is that
You know what? I think it's knee, but when you do put the French symbol above the E, I thought that turned it into an A, but I don't think you say nay. We'll go with knee.
Yeah, so I don't know. It seems like the three of us, I don't want to speak for, I don't want to, if I'm wrong here, but it seems like the three of us, it's kind of just been somewhat a bit of an average week. I'm injured, as I keep up with that. JT, JS, whichever one you want to go by. You've got the sad news about the Japanese marathon you were looking for, and Louis got COVID. So this is maybe we'll just try to give each other compliments.
This will be the highlight of the week. Pump each other up.
Since last Wednesday.
That's perfect. That's my motto: start high and then go low.
On the topic of pumping each other up, where exactly are these rings, Luke? I'm keen to know. Is it on the inside of your bicep?
They're on the inside of my right bicep, which is
so they expand when you flex.
Yeah, they're so good when I shake someone's hand because I just use my
real power move.
Yeah, real power move, and then I've just got a weak handshake. So
how about when you get old and like 80 and it gets all wrinkly? Do you reckon they'll still have the rings?
When
you get saggy?
I don't know. I'll probably
They'll be ovals.
If I make it to 80, I just won't even worry about it.
It's a good conversation starter.
I'm trying to get to 30 first. I'm not thinking about 80.
Who's going through their week first? Is it Louis?
I can. So mine was short.
Tail end of your last week because you did it last week.
Yeah. So Thursday morning, woke up after the race and did an hour and 10 minutes through Sandy, which is on the coast of where is it? Melbourne. Yeah. And then I came back to Brisbane because I had to work, and then
where do you work, Louis?
So I work at an all-boys Catholic school in Brisbane.
What's it called?
It's called Gregory Terrace.
Right.
So,
as in at a boarding house there, like a boarding house?
No, it's so. Luke, did you go to an APS school in Melbourne?
Yeah, I went to the infamous St. Kevin's, which is copying a lot of bad shit. But yeah, that's...
Oh, right.
Which explains probably.
Yeah, no, not great.
Fucking hell.
So we're in that, it's like the Brisbane version of that. It's actually the only one that doesn't have a boarding house. Yeah, so it's pretty good to get my first gig there. I just need to keep it.
Oh, so you're as a teacher?
Yeah.
You're a qualified teacher. What do you teach?
I teach business and maths. And yeah, if you've got any kids growing up, if you're in the audience in Brisbane, please don't send them to Terrace because they won't learn much.
Wait, what grade?
Grade 10.
That's another thing which I don't understand about Queenslanders as well. You guys say grade, whereas as soon as you get into high school for us, we say year. You guys just hold strong with grade the whole way through.
Yeah, it's very American.
Yeah, I'm a year person.
Grade for primary school. Yeah, wow, grade 10. Well, I didn't know that. Louis,
You could have done your internship there, Luke. Learn a little bit about business.
You could have got me coffees.
Yeah, well, I'm not that good at maths to begin with, but Louis probably would have just made me worse. But
I'm not very good at it either.
You just got to be as smart as year 11. That's all.
Yeah.
Just to be a little bit better than year 10.
That's it. Yes, so I had to come back for that. And yeah, we're actually online for this week and we go back next week. But because I have COVID, I will be going back next Wednesday. So yeah, like it's been really awkward because I've been in Teams meetings all week with students that I haven't even met, and they have no idea who I am. So it's like a Mexican standoff. Who wants to talk first?
Pretty common though. You going into like an environment where people don't know you though, I suppose,
or don't like me.
I went hard. You just took my put down. You didn't even because you put yourself down.
I guess for a relief teacher coming in though, they're not coming into a class who is attached to a particular teacher already, so that's not bad timing.
I'm not relief though. I'm full time.
As in the relief coming in for you, or are you actually still teaching?
I'm still teaching, so I'll be out front. Okay. Yeah, so weird. I'll be out the front, like on the TV doing the lesson, and then there'll be everyone on their computers, and then this guy just runs.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much like Ferris Bueller, except the other way around.
Ferris Bueller.
Just sweating up a storm out the front.
When did you finish your degree? And have you done any like relief teaching or casual teaching, or did you just go straight from degree into getting this?
I went straight from my degree into getting this, but I worked as a teacher's aide ever since I got back from America. So I've been in schools for like 4 or 5 years now. So it's not that new to me, which is good. But still having all it's still a little bit new. Yeah.
So you had to get back for school, and fill us in on the rest of the week with your training.
So then, I just did another hour and 10 on Friday, and then went down the coast to do 12.6s. And we have Jude Thomas training with us now, Luke. So he does a little bit of a different setup. So we're going to do...
Is he coached by you or Nick or his old coach?
I think he's getting guided by Collis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you said that last week.
Yeah, so on Tuesday mornings, we'll have me, Jude, Brucey, Callum, Grego, and Tim in Brisbane doing a session together. So Jacko's training will sort of meld with Collis's training, I guess.
That's usually the MTC way. You pretty much just do their session.
Yeah,
no matter what group you're in.
I've been having a little bit of trouble with giving back, but hey, that's probably not a conversation for here. So that's going to happen on Tuesdays, and then Jude will come down the coast on Saturdays. So that's good because Jude's been really good to train with, but he came down here and we did 12 sixes, and Tim was cooked because he had his booster. I was cooked because I just didn't recover well from the Zatopek, and then everyone else was off the back. So he pretty much did the session by himself.
Hey, just quickly though, back on Jude for a second, because I just think in terms of he ran 7:52 or something like that to break the 3K. He dominated national juniors. And I know it's pretty easy for a junior to just expect the world of a junior coming through to then just take on all the seniors. But man, his race at Zatopek in that 15, it was kind of weird, wasn't it? He looked like he was just going, he looked like he just didn't want to even race. And then with 2:50 to go, I was just like, fucking hell, he's just going to pass everyone up and pass. And then just kind of, it was a weird race, don't you reckon, Louis?
Yeah, I didn't see it until the replay, and I agree. I don't know if it was he was fartlecking it or something. It sort of looked, maybe he
sounds like Brady's 1500 at the
He kind of did it like George Beamish, but just didn't win.
Yeah. I remember I was in this race with Charlie Hunter at Nationals once, and he literally 200 on, 200 off a 1500, and he ended up getting flogged. But that's honestly what it looked like. But I think it's just maybe he didn't, I don't know. He doesn't really know how to race. It's pretty hard in Queensland. There's no races. It's just time trials, and then if you pop, you pop.
And he's still a junior, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I mean, it's you kind of can't, because obviously when you see a kid do something special, you kind of expect them to just take on Stewie or something. But fuck, he's going to be such an exciting runner to watch. He's so he just looks like an athlete.
Yeah, he's got the right mind.
You called it.
Well, no, I mean
space.
But it's like calling it's like saying, oh, Claudia Hollingsworth is going to be a gun. It's they're
already there. Yeah.
It's an easy pick, but I'm probably more excited. It'd be good to see what it's like when it's well-paced race, and say he's maybe racing, maybe not a Stewie, but say if you're racing maybe Stewie or Jai Edwards in a national final, maybe he'll just hang on and just fucking run something quick. Because that's pretty much what Gregson did back in the day, and he's pretty much following Gregson's footsteps. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was it. I did 12 sixes. It was not that impressive. I think we held 66s through the laps on a 230 cycle. So what's that, 144s? So then that was it. I did a 2 hour. Oh, I did a double and then a 2 hour long run, and that was my week.
And then when did you start getting symptoms? On Tuesday, a couple of days after the Sunday longie?
Yeah, on Monday night.
Okay.
Oh, Monday night.
Interesting.
Do you have to, in Queensland, do you have to get a PCR?
Nah, you can register your RAT test.
Yeah, okay.
Which is, what I did. I don't know about you guys, but the mentality up here is very, I don't enjoy it, because it's oh, well, if I don't get tested, then I won't have it. And yeah.
So we shouldn't believe the numbers we're seeing?
No.
It'd be interesting to see whether you're training, like the guys you're training with, have it as well.
I hope not. I don't want to be the one that gives that to them, because we were going to do, well, I was going to do the Adelaide 5K next week.
Oh, you can't come for that. I'm really looking forward to that event.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that.
You might have a really good rebound.
That's
like Luke had.
That's going to be a good. That's a shame, Luke, because that actually sounds like it's going to be a decent race. That Adelaide 5. I think I was speaking to Mac the other day, and I think it's been paced in like. I feel like he said either 13:35 or 13:45, which I just think would be perfect for you, Louis.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was annoyed at, because
You might come good.
yeah. Positive thinking.
Yeah. You're not signing up for the 8, Luke?
I was going to try to think of something funny to say to that, but I got nothing. I got nothing funny, and just no, because just no.
Tell us about your week.
Okay, my week. I just need to get off bloody Louis McAfee's Strava.
Hey, have you had dinner yet, by the way? Because your Uber Eats
No, my
arrived.
Uber Eats has taken like 90 minutes. It's ridiculous. Okay, so Monday, so I'm still on the elliptical / jogging. So I spoke to Kev. I spoke to my physio, JR, and the thing was, it's like I'm really not. I know I kind of touched on it last week, but I'm not confident as well at all about this Achilles, and my mind has pretty much gone to like. I don't know. I think I want to get surgery on it. And I've spoken to a few people about it, but because I'm in Sydney, it's like, all right, let's push the boundaries a little bit. And in the sense of pushing the boundaries, it's like, let's do half an hour jogs back to back, as in every second day, instead of doing like 15 minutes or something like that. So elliptical session on the Monday, which was a double mono. I touched on this last week. JR knows how much I hated. He gave me this session. I was doing it on the Watt bike earlier on in the year, but I did a double, like a mono back to back, which is, it's 40 minutes, but it's only like, because what monos equal recovery. Yeah. So it's only 20 minutes of hard, but it's 40 minutes. It's just a fucking long time to focus. Yeah. And as well, it's like when you do the last 15 seconds, you have 15 seconds recovery, and then you go back into a 90. So yeah, I've done that. I've probably done this session, mate, I'm going to say like 5 times. This time, and I reckon I've done it back to back, like without a recovery, maybe twice. But this time, I put 5 minutes recovery in between, because I was spent. Like, and I don't know. That's probably combining that with working like I like door to door. I'm probably like 10 hours, maybe more.
How much longer are you in Sydney for?
I get back on Saturday, so that's why it's like, all right, if I'm going to like see how this Achilles things go, I may as well just do it up here, because it's like I'm not going to see a doctor up here. I'm not going to see a surgeon up here or anything. So it's like, fuck it. Like, let's just see where I'm at.
Yeah. How high are you getting your heart rate in those elliptical sessions?
Well, see, that's the thing. I feel like I'm half and half. So sometimes I'll do my elliptical. Sometimes I'll do it at heart rate. Sometimes I'll do it without a heart rate. I pretty much, whenever I'm doing anything hard, I try to just get it above 160, because my threshold back in the day when I used to do thresholds when I was with Nick, I think for the 3.7 millimoles of lactic on our VO2, my zone was between like 163 and 167.
Yeah. So, and that's solid on an elliptical to get your heart rate that high.
Yeah, it's hard, and it also takes so much longer to get it up as well.
It does,
So if I'm wearing my heart rate for a easy elliptical, like a recovery type jog equivalent, I try to hit it at about 130, because that's my jogging.
Yeah.
But even then, 130 is quite hard to get. Like it sometimes can be pretty taxing to get your heart rate up. And then so I just aim for 160. And that way, if I'm a little bit under, like it won't cook me, and I can recover okay.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I did. Oh no, I did 17. I did 17. Wait, what did I do here? I did 17 and a half minutes of running.
Ooh.
So how long would the recovery time be if you got surgery? Do you know?
Wait, let me go through the thing and then I'll explain it. So, and then I did a elliptical workout. And then I actually posted this thing here. I was going, because this was the day, I did on Australia Day. And this was when all those photos of ScoMo and that Grace Tame came out. You know, when she's got that like sour face. I don't know. I feel like a lot of, I mean, she's obviously, I don't know. Like, I feel like I don't know enough about politics, and no one I know seems to like ScoMo, so she's obviously got her reasons. And I don't know, I really like that photo that she was unapologetically not going to like pretend to like a prime minister regardless of the situation. So I don't mind that. And like I said, I can't really comment on ScoMo or anything because I just know nothing about Australian politics. But when I saw that photo, I was like, fuck. So I went on that Grace Tame's Instagram and I went into her tagged photos. I don't know why. I went into her tagged photos. I think I was trying to look for those photos where she like is looking to the side. And it says here, Grace Tame, Australian of the Year 2021. She ran a 1:24 half marathon at the Easter Marathon, a 6th place finisher. And
she's a runner.
She's a good runner.
Yeah.
we met her at the Lonnie. I did the half when it was postponed, so it was the Lonnie 10 and half at the end of 2020, and she was racing.
Yeah, well, that's just even another thing. So like she went to, because where's she from? Is she from? So
I'm not sure specifically in Tassie, but she is from Tasmania.
Yeah. So I posted that to the photo. That was just an elliptical tempo workout. 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 6, 3, 2, all off 2 minutes. Absolutely riveting. I just love the elliptical so much.
Just quickly back to your run. Was that a planned 17.5-minute run, or the Achilles was just feeling average, so you had to cut it short?
Nah, so that was planned. And then my next run from then onwards up until now is meant to be 30 minutes. So I did 30 minutes in the morning at Centennial. 30 minutes in 6.7K. That was on Thursday. Yeah, it didn't feel great. My Achilles, and I also don't feel very fit, which is probably expected. And then what do I have here? So that would have been Thursday. And then on the Friday, I've got an elliptical workout. This one was pretty tough. So it was 5 sets, but and within the set it was 4 by 1 minute. Wait, what is this? Yeah, 4 by 1 minute with 30 seconds recovery. So just like a bit of a harder workout with 2 minutes 30 recovery between sets. And then on the Saturday, I just went for 2 laps of Centennial. That was pretty cruisy. 30 minutes at 4:22, 6.9K. Nothing special, to be honest, but I think